Hello YouTube land, this is Tychondrius here doing a new action figure review. Well, another action figure review, and this time it's for the, if I just pan up my camera, Star Wars Return of the Jedi Klaatu Figure. This is part of the 2019 vintage collection line, and I picked this up early. These haven't even been released over here. I don't even know if they are going to be released over here. But I got Klaatu because I'm a huge fan of Jabba's goons, and I'll show that in a minute. But before I go on, here is the card back. So the card back has the old Kenner logo down the bottom instead of Hasbro, and you have the image of the character. If I remember correctly, in the making of, they basically just used bed sheets to make the uniforms. They didn't actually go all in, and had leather straps and stuff like that. Didn't go too all in. And then on the back of the box, it just says celebrating the legacy of Star Wars action and adventure, and it shows other figures in the wave, which are Selat Mar, also known as Yak Face, the Scarif Stormtrooper, Klaatu Figure, Luke Skywalker, Ensfi's Nest from Solo movie, and Princess Leia in Bush Disguise. Now, as far as I know, Bush Disguise Leia, Luke, and the Scarif Stormtrooper are all reissues. I think Princess Leia was originally one of the vintage collection figures. I have that figure as well, and it's a great figure, bar one minor gripe I have about it, which is the terminal detonator is molded into the left hand, so you don't have an option to remove it. The previous figure before that had an actual removable one. There was a little tiny peg hole that you could peg it into the hand or onto the side of the belt that she wears, but for some reason Hasbro decided to mold it into the hand, so you basically have an unusable left hand. Luke was part of a reissue from the Walmart Black Series 3 3/4 inch, and same with the Scarif Stormtrooper. As far as I know, he was released as Walmart exclusive for Rogue One. The other three are actually, I think Ensfi's Nest is a new figure. May have been released as part of the Solo line. I don't think so. But I think there was a exclusive of her with a bike, but that could be the 6-inch figure I'm thinking of. So, before I get onto the figure, I'll just pop them in there. So this is Klaatu, and this is also Klaatu. Maybe seem a little confusing. So originally, the story behind the figure, well, the story behind Klaatu is there was 3 characters called Klaatu, Barada, Nikto, based on the old what's the movie, End of the World, or the it's one of those ones with the giant robot, and the activation code for the giant robot was that phrase, Klaatu, Barada, Nikto. The day the Earth Stood Still, I think is the name of the movie. They did a remake with Keanu Reeves there a couple of years back, if anyone wants to remember that. But they did 3 characters, Klaatu, Barada, Nikto. So what's interesting is these guys, this is Giran, or Garan as he's pronounced, are called Niktos. Even though the character name says Klaatu, this guy is called Woof, but he's also known as Klaatu and Nikto. And then you have, bring him in, I think he was known as Nikto, and unfortunately I only have Kitaba, which was the Barada figure. I repainted, this one looks different because the standard one is a brown colour. I repainted him to look like the Barada figure. So you had Barada, Nikto, Klaatu, and then they also did this one, which is I think also supposed to be Klaatu, or it gets very confusing because you have this. If I just get him to stand up, he doesn't want to stand up. So the original Star Wars figures what they had, you had like Weequay skiff troopers, and you had these guys. There we go. You have the Weequay guys here, the prune kind of heads. You had this guy, who is also known as Rada, but his race is supposed to be the Klaatu race, or Klaatunian. And then you have these guys, which I can't remember the actual race for these. I think they could be Niktu as well. So you have a bizarre amalgamation of all the different words. And some of them actually have character names, some of them didn't have character names. Like this guy, as far as I know, he was just called the Weequay skiff guard or driver. I can't remember. Oop, knocking everyone over. So, and you have this guy, which is also another Weequay. So, original figure kind of lineup was, if I just move them aside, went the original old Kenner line was pretty much, if I just move these out of the way, he should be in there. It's pretty much these 5 guys. I could be wrong. I have a feeling, I'm pretty sure it was just these 5 guys are pretty much what the original Kenner line was. So you had Weequay, you had this guy, which is another Niktu, I think. You have these guys which were named Klaatu, but were kind of named the same. And then this guy, which was Barada, which would have been originally one of the last figures that Kenner did, but they made a figure for him in part of the vintage collection. So these are all the modern versions. So that little brief history aside, if it seems confusing, it pretty much is. Especially, they seem to name the guys, well, originally when they were naming the characters, they didn't actually have names. They were just like known as what they looked like. So, for example, the Cantina aliens had no names per se. They used, like, they had stuff like Snaggletooth and Walrus Man and stuff like that, so they didn't actually have a character name until way later. As we all know, they're like, I think Snaggletooth has a name, I can't remember what his name is, and then Walrus Man became, what's his name? The guy who gets his arm cut off by Obi-Wan. So, moving the figures aside, that I will just pop them out of the way. Bear with me a moment. I know people are going to start falling over in a second, so I will give this guy a measurement. So he stands in at just a little under the 4-inch mark with his hat. Now, unlike some of the other guys, a lot of these guys actually have removable helmets. We'll just bring in Wolf here. You can see there, he actually has a removable helmet. This guy's one isn't. It's actually glued into his head. It is a separate piece, but if you pull it off, I'm assuming there's going to be a big bar or ridge where it connects onto his head. He also only comes with one accessory, which is a force pike, which looks exactly like the one that Bush, this guy's Leia, comes with. Very similar design. Unlike the bladed pikes that the standard guys have. And another thing that he doesn't have, that the other guys do have, is a pistol. He didn't actually come with any pistol, but he does have a trigger finger for one. And he actually has hinges in his wrists. So, articulation wise, he actually has unique articulation, which is new to this line. So you have hinges and the shoulders, kind of standard hinges. He has a ball jointed head, which is a really good ball joint. And he has single jointed elbows with a swivel that can get over 90-degree bend. Got a swivel in the wrist, a hinge, as I mentioned, in the wrist, upper diaphragm crunch. You can get some great looks. I love the head sculpt. very similar to Wolf's. He doesn't have anything in the lower waist because this is supposed to kind of simulate the waist. He does have weird hip articulation, or sorry, upper thigh articulation, so there's a joint up underneath, so you have to swivel it to actually get it to go in, so he can go, splits that much, but he can't go forward when those joints are in that position. You have to turn the joint and rotate the upper thigh so you can get into a seated position. Same on the opposite side, so you rotate and then rotate again. He has single jointed knees with a rotation. The knee is very tight on this guy because I literally just got him. He has a single jointed knee that can get over a 90-degree bend, which is quite nice. And I haven't really figured out the leg articulation. I think it's just a swivel. There could be hinge. It is covered over by these kind of armor plating on his knee or on his ankle. And then he has swivels in the feet. You can swivel them 360, but I don't see, there's a hinge there I think, there's in the rocker joint. As I said, he does come with that force pike so you can hold it. You can get some two-handed positions out of it. Just get him to put it into both hands, so it does look pretty good. You can, I think, even get him to do the pose on his box, where he has his arms kind of just off to the side like that. So you can get him to look somewhat like his image on his box. But all in all, he's a really cool figure. It is a shame he doesn't come with a pistol or any holster for a pistol, but if you have a spare one knocking around, you can give it to him. Only reason I have spare pistols is I picked up basically a ton of Wolf, and I think 2 of these guys, 2 of Kitaba, and a bunch of the Weakways when they first came out, because as I said, I love Jabba's Palace guys. I love just having them as background characters. I repainted a few of the duplicates just to make them a bit more unique. So all in all, they're a really good figure, so do recommend picking up, and as I say in my videos, please feel free to like, comment and subscribe to my channel.